Giving out bad advice on social media. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we're going to talk about how a lot of social media channels don't really moderate their content and they allow poor advice and fights to be allowed to happen underneath them. Instead of answering the question themselves, they allow different people to try and answer it for them, and then it depends on which area of the industry the person's from, how much experience they've got, to be, how well that advice is going to be handled. And I just want to come over here and have a look at the biggest page there is around jobs in mining, and this is a perfect example of what I was talking about just then. Somebody's asked a question: is it worth doing the expensive R2 tickets in Queensland to help me get a job? And the answer to the question is that they use the R2 tickets in construction, shutdown work. They also use them in oil and gas and production mining in coal in Queensland. All the other production mining jobs around the country, all the employers have to issue their own on-site equipment tickets and on-site procedures. And the reason that they have to do that is just after I first started mining back in the end of '94, they changed the Act and regulations over here in WA to say the owner of the mine is responsible for everybody on the mine, and they've got to be able to prove that they've trained and kept everybody safe. And the agreed method of doing that is on-site equipment tickets and on-site procedures. So if there's an accident or an incident happens and the mines department turns up and you get dragged into court as the shift boss or the mine manager or the resident manager, which are all registered positions over here in WA, if you get dragged into court with that, then you fall back on the fact that you've trained the person and supervised the person properly, and you've got all your paperwork there to deal with it all. That's the way it works. I'm not going to go into the comments or anything like that below, but it's just, there's a whole heap of people from different areas of the industry offering their own advice and telling everybody else that they're wrong. Instead of understanding that their area of the industry works different to the other person's area of the industry, they just want to fight amongst themselves about it. Which is why I think that this is, you really got to get on there and answer these questions if you're going to be, run these sort of pages, I reckon. So the other thing is that if you click over to their website that goes along with that page, which has got great links to all these jobs that come up, and they've done a really good job, and it's a good resource if you want to find jobs and all that sort of stuff. But again, if you click on career advice, it brings you to this page, and there's a whole heap of blogs on there. But if you type underground mining in and then you press on that, we don't want to have a look at that, close that. It brings you to how to get an underground mining job. And then if you read through it, it becomes increasingly clear that this isn't written for Australia, because it first tells you need to get a mining license. In order to get a mining license, you'll need to pass an exam, pass a written exam and a physical exam. Nothing like that exists. You'll have to do a miner's health surveillance depending on which area of the country you're in. Most states have them themselves that the mines department operate. But if you come down here to the bottom of the post to see how much they get paid, then you can see why there's all the problems with it, because they've just lifted this straight from a US site. This isn't even about Australian content. There's nothing in here that's going to help you get a hard rock underground mining job in Australia. It's just straight off an overseas website, or they've lifted it out of a magazine or wherever they've got it from. But they've got proper Australian hard rock underground jobs listed underneath it. There's lots of jobs down there, as you can see. But the content of it up here is not right. And the question's got to be asked, if they've got this wrong, what else have they gotten wrong? And it just gets back to what I was saying about the Facebook page they've got with it. This is the biggest Facebook page in Australia, jobs in mining, and the admin won't even answer a simple question about where you need tickets and where you don't need tickets. So, how much experience have they got in mining? Probably not a lot. So anyway, that's my little rant about social media. So if you get onto a social media website and you ask a question, when you get your answers, you need to really clarify with the person that's giving the answer, what's your background, where you're from, under what context are you giving me this response. So I hope that information helps, and if you've got a mining question that you want answered, please send them through, and if you could like the video and like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.